I must place the unions in proper pathway for people to understand.
Hello and welcome to the program. I am DEJI360. Thank you very much for joining us. Now, the long-awaited Senate screening and approval has come and gone. And guess what? One man, Amaechi, the former governor of Rivers State, was eventually cleared and approved by the Senate. But then, I must confess, the clearance and approval was not an easy process at all. We saw a drama when he came for screening, when PDP senators refused to ask him questions. But then we saw more drama during the approval stage as senators debated the report of its Ethics and Privileges Committee. Now, that report generated a lot of controversy and some bad blood on the floor of the Senate. Eventually, PDP senators took a walk. Let's just go back now and begin from that point when one of the senators from Rivers State started speaking against the clearance of Amaechi as a minister.
Seeing the ministerial nominee had gone to court of appeal to challenge the content of the petition and the white paper of the Judicial Commission of Inquiry, the Senate is unable to recommend the consideration of his confirmation. That is the recommendation of the committee. I am not saying that Senate should accept it. I am not saying so. But if Senate is to say nay to it, it is the recommendation you will go and say no to, not one of the findings that you will go and say no to. And there is a moral burden on all of us here. A moral burden on all of us here. Whatever we do today will be recaptured in future. If we encourage corruption, when Mr. President is fighting against corruption, then this chamber is encouraging that we must vote for corruption. Nigeria is heading for a hell of a position. And I pray that the Senate President, you look at this matter very well and handle it very well. Yes, they may have their own way, but we will have our own say. And our say is that we are joining Buhari to fight against corruption. And we will join him to fight against this corruption. But I pray that his followership, including all of you, join him to fight against this corruption.
Let me start, Mr. President, sir, Mr. Chairman, at this committee of the whole, to first of all address the issue of the recommendation of the committee. Just like we have select committees, we have standing committees. This is the most important committee of the Senate. It is the committee of the whole. At every committee level, any recommendation can be amended. At committee of the whole, a recommendation can be amended. Point number one. Point number two. Point number two. Point number two. The basis of the leaders' submission, which he brought submission, he brought it under point of order and he moved the motion, a consequential motion. Is predicated under order 53, rule 5, because this matter is sub judice, is pending, and order 41, rule 7. And may I just read order 41, rule 7?
Yes, go ahead.
Order 41, rule 7 provides.
Go ahead.
Order 41, rule 7, which was what the leader thought the recommendation would have been. The Senate shall not receive any petition on any matter for which there is a judicial remedy. If, Mr. President, sir, Mr. Chairman, if Mr. President, sir, order 53.5 provides that reference shall not be made to any matter on which a judicial decision is pending. In such wey, as might in the opinion of the President of the Senate, prejudice the interest of the parties thereto. If a matter was pending and we did not know, and this matter was made known at the committee level, the committee should have been guided to come here and tell us that we have an obligation under section 147, which I may also read, Mr. President, to approve a ministerial nominee. Let me read section 147 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, which... No, wait now. Quiet. Just go ahead and go there. Go ahead. Go ahead, read it. Go read it. Section 1. Quiet. Mr. President, sir. Section 147 provides. Go ahead, don't worry, go ahead. Section 147, subsection 2 provides that any appointment to the office of the Minister of the Government of the Federation shall, if the nomination of the person of such office is confirmed by the Senate, be made by the President. Even the power under Order 41 of our rules, which is a subsidiary legislation, this is the fountain of every other law. And section 1, subsection 3 of the Constitution has told us that if this Constitution is at variance with the rules, the Constitution will even prevail.
Mr. Chairman, first of all, let me write order 43 of personal explanation. And I want to say on this report, Mr. Chairman, that if you look at the report, we took helicopter overview of the findings and observation by the committee. So what the leader took was just an observation, and then the recommendation is what we said, that because the Senate cannot work against its own extant law or rule, we are not even have right to recommend for confirmation. We can't even start confirmation of the nominee. That's the truth. The evaluation has said right.
Chairman, I thought you were going to comment on the point that Senator Omowarare raised, which was not in your report.
Mr. Chairman, first of all, if you remember, when I was reading out the findings, I read the letter from the local firm of the ministerial nominee, that in the first instance, he's not supposed to appear before the committee. So it is important. The Constitution, section 66H, has been repeated actually as a matter of fact under the alteration law, under the alteration of the Constitution. But that is not the issue in question. The issue in question is that this Senate has no power to work according to this rule to entertain any matter in the court. Therefore, our recommendation is that there should not be any confirmation. That's the point of the committee.
Mr. President, from all indications, we have been shut out. And the only reason I am standing up to speak is to tell you, Mr. President, that there is a moral burden on not only this Senate, but on the government of President Buhari that is riding on a crest. That is riding on a crest. I will finish. I am a woman. You need to let me speak. Mr. President, there is a moral burden on anyone who is riding on the crest of corruption. No corruption. The minimum corruption. We don't want corruption. And there is a weighty allegation against anybody. There is a need, Mr. President, to ensure that the court of law absolves him before we can confirm him in this Senate. I am insisting that the court of law must clear him before we confirm him in this Senate. The majority, Mr. President, the majority will always have its way. But the truth is that Nigerians will know that this government is not about to fight any corruption and is only willing to condone it all of the way.
There is a report before this Senate of a committee that was set up by this very same Senate. This committee submitted its report, and its report is in accordance with our rules. Our rules, the rules of Senate, is in consonance with section.
Senator Abdullahi,
In consonance. The rules of court has the backing of law because it is set up pursuant to section 60 of the 1999 Constitution as amended, which says, Mr. President, subject to the provisions of this Constitution, the Senate or the House of Reps shall have power to regulate its own procedure, including the procedure for summoning a recess of the House. So these rules have the force of law. They are not subsidiary legislation, Mr. President. And the debate, the report that was submitted is in accordance with our rules. The report is saying once there is a matter pending before a competent court of jurisdiction, the Senate is stopped from discussing that issue.
Those in favor of the recommendation of the report say aye. Those against say nay. The nays have it. The report of the Senate Committee on Ethics is hereby rejected. Now we go to the approval. Senate, those in favor that Chubuike Rotimi Amaechi is approved, say nay. The ayes have it. Chubuike Rotimi Amaechi is appointed as a minister of the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Now it's time for confirmation of the nominees. Would the Senate confirm Barrister Adebayo Shitu as Minister of the Government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Barrister Adebayo Shitu is confirmed as Minister of the Government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Would the Senate confirm the nominee of Minister Khadija Abba Ibrahim as Minister of the Government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Khadija Abba Ibrahim is confirmed as Minister of the Government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Will the Senate confirm the nomination of Senator Henike Olokubiri as Minister of the Government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Senator Henike Olokubiri is confirmed as Minister of the Government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Will the Senate confirm the nomination of Claudius Omoleye Daramola as Minister of the Government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Claudius Omoleye Daramola is confirmed as Minister of the Government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Will the Senate confirm the nomination of Baba Shehuri Mustapha as Minister of the Government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Baba Shehuri Mustapha is confirmed as Minister of the Government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Will the Senate confirm the nomination of James Enojo Ucholi as Minister of the Government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. James Enojo Ucholi is confirmed as Minister of the Government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Will the Senate confirm Mr. Jeffrey Oyema as Minister of the Government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Mr. Jeffrey Oyema is confirmed as Minister of the Government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Will the Senate confirm the nomination of Zainab S. Ahmed as Minister of the Government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Zainab S. Ahmed is confirmed as Minister of the Government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Will the Senate confirm the nomination of Mansour Mohammed Dan Ali as Minister of the Government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Mansour Mohammed Dan Ali is confirmed as Minister of the Government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Will the Senate confirm the nomination of Pastor Sani Uguru as Minister of the Government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Pastor Sani Uguru is confirmed as Minister of the Government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Will the Senate confirm the nomination of Mr. Okechukwu Eyina Lemama as Minister of the Government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Mr. Okechukwu Eyina Lemama is confirmed as Minister of the Government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Will the Senate confirm Professor Anwuka Anthony Gozie as Minister of the Government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Professor Anwuka Anthony Gozie is confirmed as Minister of the Government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Will the Senate confirm the nomination of Mohammed Musa Bello as Minister of the Government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Mohammed Musa Bello is hereby confirmed as Minister of the Government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Will the Senate confirm the nomination of Adamu as Minister of the Government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Adamu is hereby confirmed as Minister of the Government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Will the Senate confirm the nomination of Aisha Abubakar as Minister of the Government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria? Those in favor say aye. Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Aisha Abubakar is confirmed as Minister of the Government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Will the Senate confirm the nomination of Chibuike Rotimi Amaechi as Minister of the Government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Chibuike Rotimi Amaechi is confirmed as Minister of the Government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
I'm now being joined on the program to do an analysis of this by Nelson Ekujumi, who is, of course, a political analyst and a civil society leader. Nelson, thank you very much for coming on the program.
Thank you very much for having me.
First, what do you make of this drama? We all expected it anyway.
Well, I think it's a testament to the fact that democracy has come to stay, because you find a situation in which people brought to fore the fact that, like we used to say, that while the majority will have their way, the minority must have the say, because, you know, the democracy allows for diversity of opinions. So what you have seen play out there is that unfortunately, we saw people the minority, trying to make their voice louder than that of the majority, and it is not possible. Don't forget, we are in a new era where things is being done orderly. We are no more in the era of 16 is greater than 19 against common sense and logic. And it's unfortunate that, they had to resort to, childish prank, or should I say infantile pranks, because ordinarily they should know that even if your voice, if you are the most, if you are on the right track, if your position is the most logical, once the majority says no in a democracy, majority must have the way, and that is what played out.
But for you, how logical is it for the APC to have confirmed Rotimi Amaechi, especially when you consider the fact that this is a man who is accused of corruption, and then the government of President Buhari, that's the APC government, is basically hinged on anti-corruption?
Well, the truth of the matter is that in as much as we are a country, we must recognize the fact that Nigeria as a country is being ruled according to the Constitution. That is what Mr. President and even these lawmakers have sworn on oath. And the Constitution of Nigeria presumes a man innocent until he is proven guilty. That is why I was very, very much happy with the position of Senator Jide Omowurare, in which he himself brought it to the fore that Order 41 or Rule 7 of the House states that any matter before a court of law must not be entertained by the House. And what you would expect the House to have done, unlike what the Ethics Committee did, because looking at the role of the Ethics Committee, I think
it would appear the Ethics Committee members were actually divided.
Yes, it calls to question the integrity, the rationality of their decision. Because don't forget, when Mr. Chibuike Amaechi appeared before the Senate Ethics Committee, they themselves told us that they cannot look into that matter because it will be subjudice. So you now look at their recommendation. It is at variance with the rules of the House. It is at variance with the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. It is also at variance with what they told the Nigerian people when we watched the presentation, the presentation of Amaechi before them, the appearance. Because once you know a matter is before the court, the rule of the House states that the Senate or the House of Representatives, the National Assembly generally, must stay off that matter. So what it means is that once Mr. President has submitted a nomination to you, and that nomination, there's a petition pending against that nomination, and that petition against that nomination is being challenged in a court of law, what the rule says is that, except if somebody is trying to be economical with the truth, what the rule says is that you must not look at that petition again. You should look at only the representation from Mr. President, because looking at that petition means that you are trying to preempt the judiciary, and that will make the House become a law-breaking House of Assembly rather than a law-making House of Assembly. So as far as we are concerned, the position of the Senate in rejecting the recommendations of the Ethics Committee is very, very much in tandem with democratic spirit and the spirit of the Nigerian Constitution. Now,
beyond the issue of politics and the law, as you've said now, do you think there's a moral issue involved? Yes, we had one senator from the PDP now, Senator Sekibo from PDP River State, saying, look, this is a moral issue, and that it's a moral burden on the Senate.
It is not a moral issue. It's not, the senator, from my own understanding, is only trying to play to the gallery. Don't forget, the society morals has been coded into our laws. The morals are the values governing the human conduct. And in order for that morals to be understood by everybody as a Bible, because morals or values differ from one society to the other. That is why it is made into the Constitution. The society is not governed by morals. The society is governed by rules of law. And that morals is also embedded in our Constitution. That is why in law, you have what is known as the natural law and the positive law. The natural law is what ought to be. The positive law is what it is. The law says that the Bible, for example, the Bible is not the Constitution of Nigeria, but the Bible, as Christian, teaches me as a citizen that thou shalt not steal. The Constitution of Nigeria has codified that natural law, biblical law, from the Bible and other values of the country into the Nigerian constitution that you shall not steal. Anybody that steals has committed a violation of the constitution and there's punishment. So for me, the issue of moral burden is only trying to be, played to the gallery to whip up sentiments. We all know that this morality that we are preaching is also part of our constitution, that these values we hold dearly in the society is in the constitution. That is why Nigerians can, take to the media waging war against homosexuality, that the values in another clime is against our values as well as against our constitution, because our values are coded into our constitution.
But
so
what would you say? Do you think, and what would you say to those who say, look, whether you like it or not, this is a clear erosion of President Muhammadu Buhari's anti-corruption stance? I mean, he wants to appoint a man, or he chose a man as minister who is facing a monumental corruption allegation. Yes.
Well, the truth of the matter that we also must recognize is that our society today is one that, before the coming into office of President Muhammadu Buhari, has been labeled as a theater of the absurd. It is in this same society we have seen people being killed because somebody raised an allegation that this man is a thief, without people investigating. The issue of the Alu-4, you still remember, is still in the court of law because we are told that somebody went to collect his money from his debtor, and in order not to pay, the debtor shouted, "Thief, thief!" And what happened? 4 innocent undergraduates were clubbed to death after being paraded naked. What we are saying, it has no basis of eroding President Muhammadu Buhari's anti-corruption stand, because they are even coming to look at it with the present scenario. The same Nyesom Wike's government that instituted that panel report that allegedly indicted Mr. Rotimi Amaechi has even been declared a nullity. The stay in office has been declared a nullity by a court of competent jurisdiction in Nigeria. That is the elections tribunal.
Well, but it's still the government in power.
No, it's still the government in power. Even the person alleging even has a moral body himself. But for us, that is not the issue. The issue for us is about working in tandem with the rule of law. And what does the law say? The law says a man is presumed innocent until proven guilty. Mr. Chibuike Amaechi, if he's confirmed as a senator, don't forget, he's not a governor. He doesn't have immunity. He can still be tried if the security agencies can, gather their facts together, that warrants prosecution. And even, don't forget, some of these legislators, if they are also talking about moral burden, some of them, their elections at the tribunals, their elections have been annulled by the tribunals. They are also challenging the verdict of the tribunals in the court of law. So you expect that, like they say, he who must come to equity must come with clean hands. You expect that if we are talking about a country being ruled by morals, which we have admitted differs from one clime to the other, even within Nigeria, our moral values differ from one society or one nation to the other. You expect that they should not be sitting in the Senate until their election is confirmed by the Court of Appeal. But because the Constitution reigns supreme, the country is not ruled by morals, rather the country is ruled by the Constitution. That is why you still find them, even though their mandate is still being subject to questioning. They are still sitting in the National Assembly making laws for Nigeria.
So would you say all of this issue about surrounding the former governor of Rivers State, the crisis between him and the government in that state, would you say all this thing is political?
Definitely, there's no two ways about it. Don't forget the role Governor Chibuike Amaechi played in contributing to the exit of the former government, because people tended to look at it that, look, why are you fighting with our own son? You are all from the same place. You are brothers and sisters. But the man said, no, I want good governance. The man said when the former president was in office, the fuel subsidy was about 300 billion naira. Only for the president to now tell them that the fuel subsidy has gone to about 1.3 trillion naira or thereabout. Only for the president, when they had an election to elect the Nigerian Governors Forum chairman, in which Governor Chibuike, in an election conducted for about 36 state governors, in which Governor Chibuike Amaechi scored 19 votes then when he was the governor of Rivers State, and his rival, Jonah Jang of Plateau State, got 16. For Mr. President to now join forces with those who got 16 to tell the Nigerian people that 16 is greater than 19, everybody was like, are we sane? Are we really, is our head on our neck or under our feet? So the issue at hand today is that it is all political. It is meant, to drag him into the mud to make sure they tarnish his image and his political career. But as Nigerians, we won't presume him guilty, neither will we presume him innocent in the court of public opinion. We'll leave it to the court of law, because that is what the Nigerian Constitution says. And don't forget, the Constitution is meant to bring about orderliness and good governance in society. If not, a lot of people would have taken the laws into their hands.
Finally, let me ask you, what does all of this mean for the unity of the APC? Because before now, some people had, nursed that fear that Saraki, the Senate president, might scuttle it because he's not in very good terms with the leadership of the party. But in the immediate aftermath of the clearance of Amaechi, we saw a press statement from Lai Mohammed, the spokesperson of the APC, saying now the APC is one, and that by the clearance of Amaechi, that the APC had demonstrated that it is united.
Well, the truth of the matter is that for once, I think we must commend members of the Senate for displaying maturity, for putting the interest of the nation larger, for putting the interest of the nation above partisan interest. We have seen the APC senators come together, and we will expect that, like in Senate claims, the ruling party that has the majority in the House must be able to use that numerical strength to achieve its purpose of governance for the society, so that its manifestos can be achieved, can be brought into fruition through bills being sent to the National Assembly to become laws. For us, I think what they have displayed there, I think it's a big kudos to them. It has shown that in as much as there was the divisions before, they have been able to, put the division behind them, to put the larger interests as well as focus on democracy and the rule of law, which is what has played out at the Senate yesterday.
But it's quite unfortunate that, up till this time, we've really not had serious work done by the government. I mean, the Senate has just been busy with this screening and all of that. Even the Senate too has really not had the time to go into serious business. And we're talking about 4 or 5 months or 6 months gone.
Don't forget, until now, the conduct of the Senate with regards to this ministerial confirmation was not good enough. It showed that some of them, or I should say, let me blame them collectively.
Quite hostile, because we never expected they were going to even clear all this.
Yes, we must tell them the truth. We have not been impressed. We saw the way they asked questions. Some of them don't have the pedigree of the questions they were asking. They asked some questions, and one would expect a follow-up question, which never surfaced. For us, we saw it as a normal drama in the Senate. It's all paddy-paddy. We were not too impressed, but by and large, at the end of the day, they have been able to do what is right. Now we have the ministers, about 36 who have been cleared. One will expect that from next week, Mr. President will inaugurate his cabinet. And don't forget, the late inauguration of the cabinet, or the pending inauguration of the cabinet till now, was not because Mr. President was looking for angels. Neither was he looking for saints. It was just because Mr. President, like you and I, must recognize that the rot he met in the system had to be cleared. Because before Mr. President came into office, we had a government then. I gave you an instance before that told us that 16 was greater than 19. A government that laundered Nigeria's money to South Africa, all in the name of buying arms to fight Boko Haram. And they were arrested, and it became an international embarrassment for the country. We had a government that told us that she was not prepared to discuss or negotiate with Boko Haram, only for us to wake up one morning and they told us that they've reached a ceasefire. And you and I know that when ceasefire is reached, it is not through war, it is through negotiation. Only for us to realize a week after that there was really no ceasefire. So the government then committed a lot of violations against the Constitution of Nigeria, that no sane government will just start working without checking the books. And don't forget, even the handover notes from the past government was submitted about 4 or 3 days to the end of its tenure. It means they were not ready to submit the handover note. So what it showed you is that now we have a government in place. A lot of people are exercising desperation that, look, we must get going. And I want to refer them back to the statement by Mr. President that we must move in an orderly manner. I wouldn't subscribe to the position of just run. Like we have this Yoruba proverb that when a child falls, the child looks forward. But when an adult falls, he looks behind. He wants to know what caused the fall so that he doesn't repeat it. So what Mr. President has done so far is to clear the organs table to make sure that his ministers can start on a clean slate and there will be no room for anybody to give excuses. They will be fine. I expect that when they get into office, they will be firing on all cylinders because there's a lot of work to do.
To be done.
Yeah.
Let's just hope that the president inaugurates the cabinet as soon as possible.
Definitely, we are expecting.
Nelson, thank you very much for coming on the program, and thank you very much for your contributions.
Thank you very much.
Well, we'll take a short break, and we'll come back to continue the discussion.
Line that was given, the presidential order that was given, I think was given perhaps just in the spirit of goal setting goal for the military to achieve. I don't think it was meant as a realistic deadline because there is nowhere you defeat terrorism on some kind of a timetable. Say, okay, in 3 months you'll be defeated, you'll be gone. It doesn't happen like that. We know that terrorism persists for years and years and years. Terrorism is not something that just goes overnight. And I think that is part of the problem we have. Both our leadership and perhaps even also our military, they don't understand the asymmetric nature of the conflict we have at hand. They don't understand that this is a multifaceted, multi-frontal war, improvised war. When you say terrorism must stop, you mean all those asymmetric attacks, all those SB attacks, suicide bomber attacks, they will also be checked. Now, but how do you do that? That requires a different type of security architecture, not the one. I think what the president meant was that the holding of territory by Boko Haram should be over by perhaps December 31st. But that does not mean that Boko Haram terrorism or that Boko Haram will be defeated, because Boko Haram is still a viper. It's a very, it's a poisonous viper, and it will continue to sting until we put in the necessary security architecture, until we address the asymmetric nature of the threat that we have here. Because an asymmetric war needs improvisation, it needs no front lines, and asymmetric response is the same thing: improvisation, no front lines. Because if you are defining front lines, that's why we were in the northeast combating them. They're in Abuja bombing us, and they are attacking Okene in Kogi State. So that is the kind of asymmetric, and they are infiltrating Lagos. So that is the kind of asymmetric. That is the nature of asymmetric warfare. Of asymmetric warfare, there is no front line.